Hello and welcome to my channel and to this cardboard box. Now that probably doesn't sound very exciting, but inside this box is a receiver that I've been trying to find for 2 years at a fair price. Not easily done anymore. Now I do want this to be a little bit of a surprise, so you're just going to have to indulge me for a moment. But I've been genuinely trying to find one of these for 2 years. I've seen many for sale, 700, 800, £1,000, and it's not the sort of money I'm looking to spend. And I wouldn't mind spending that much, potentially, if they were fully serviced, fully refurbished, gorgeous showroom condition pieces that are going to last 20 years. But if you're into vintage hi-fi, you'll know that's very rarely the case. I've been wanting to pick one up that I can have as a project, fully recap and then enjoy it for years and years, knowing that it should last another 20 years. So that's my intention with this. This is definitely a project. I've bought this knowing that it doesn't work. I know that it's missing pieces, but I don't know why it doesn't work. I don't know what pieces it's missing. I do know that the wooden case is present, but that all the bolts that hold them on aren't. So, and I know that they've packed this in a very flimsy box for a very heavy unit, so I'm a little bit concerned. But I want to unbox it. I need to check it. It's arrived today. I thought I'd video it so you guys can watch me unbox it and see my reaction and see what kind of condition it's actually in. I've got my cup of tea. I've got my knife.
That's not a knife.
So let's get it open. Okay, let's do it. Now I don't know which way up this is, so it could very well be upside down. I don't know how well the seller's packaged this. The box is incredibly flimsy for a unit that weighs this much. I think these units weigh about 40 pounds or 18 kilograms, something like that. That gives you a slight indication. If you're expecting me to open this and it's a Pioneer SX 1980, spoiler alert, it's not. It isn't a flagship receiver, but it is a receiver from the 70s and one that I've been really excited to get hold of, which I will explain exactly why once it's open and I reveal it. And while he's getting that unboxed, we're going to head up to Lincoln in the UK and find JFix. JFix is an electronics repair technician on YouTube and has added me to a whole community of repair technicians, and I'm super grateful for that. Absolute legend. Guys, go check his channel out. Back to me. Right. Woo, I'm excited. There's a missing piece. I can see missing pieces already. Let me know if you guessed this before I revealed it. Let me know at what point you got to in the video when you guessed it, or when you noticed what it was and recognized it. I bought this knowing it wasn't showroom condition. I bought this knowing very well it would be a full project and refurbishment job, which suits me down to the ground. I'm really excited by it. Ah! Exactly what I said. It's going to leave tape residue behind. I'm still glad he did it, as I say, because I would not want a broken wooden case. So I will accept that. The sticky stuff. Whew. What is this? Is that an antenna? Oh, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Oh my goodness me. Oh, okay. Some sort of auxiliary in. But yeah, the big reveal. Calm down. First, we need to go up to Norway and find Geir Anderson at Let Us Repair. Another repairs electronics electrician with a really cool, interesting channel. Super nice guy. Go check him out. It is a Pioneer SX838. And I've wanted one of these for 2 years. Now the reason for this, I know it's not a monster receiver. I think these are 50 watts per channel from the mid to late 70s. And the reason I've wanted one of these so much is because my first ever piece of vintage equipment was a Pioneer SX828, the generation before this. I bought that broken. I had a local service guy who's since retired. I had him repair a couple of faulty tape monitor switches. And when I got that thing home and I plugged it into some real run-of-the-mill speakers, I was blown away at how good it sounded. And that's where my infatuation with vintage hi-fi started, with the Pioneer SX828. And not long after that, I wanted to hear one of these. This is an 838, this is the next generation. Now, if vintage audio's taught me one thing, it's that later generations don't always mean improvement. Often, it's quite the opposite. But in regards to this is a highly regarded receiver, all this X3X line. This is the 838. There was a few below. You had the 737, the 636, the 535, 434, and then above it there were two. There was the 939 and the 1010. So this sat somewhere just above the middle of the range, toward the higher end. But I can't seem to pick these up for less than £600, and that's unserviced, untested. Seller might say it's working, but you know what that's like. And recently, any examples of these that I've seen pop up, they've been for £800. You click on the images and the wood's all tarnished and the face is all dirty and scratched and it's never been serviced, or there's no mention of any service, and they're still asking £800. So this one popped up and I'll show you what it's missing in a moment. But this was under £200, which is still might be quite a lot, but for me, I'm happy to spend that amount. And then I'm gonna put a lot of money and time into it, trying to get it to a nice mint condition, perfectly serviced and running, fully refurbished 838 receiver, and I'm going to be over the moon with it to sit alongside my 828, and I can't wait. Anyway, so it's the 838. It is not in a very good condition. First glance, I'm missing some stuff. This trim piece here, this wooden pillar piece there isn't one here. I'm going to have to make one. This case. The case looks okay. The case is, I can save this. There we go. As I say, there's no bolts. But the case is a bit scratched up, for sure. But it's salvageable. So I'm happy with the case. Okay, first glance inside. Well, let's stay on the outside. From the front, there's quite a lot of scratching on the black paint across the panel. So that's going to need addressing. There's a lot of scratches along the faceplate. There is a missing power knob. That's always useful. So I'm going to have to source one of those. Generally quite dirty. As I say, the black paint really has scratched off in lots of places. So that's going to be interesting. What I do about these buttons and how they're worn, not sure yet. But I'm still excited. I'm not going to try and power it on because I'm told it doesn't. In fact, there's a missing relay. I think time to bring this camera over. Okay, so now looking inside, there are RCA sockets just loose. There are cables cut. There is a complete missing relay by the looks of things. But actually, I've seen worse. It's a bit dusty and hairy, but it's not rusty. That goes a long way to making me feel more happy with this, because some of these old units have been kept in garages, they've been kept in sheds, and the case is all rusty and all this is all rusted away, and At least this isn't. So that I'm pleased by. From the top side, it looks like most of the components are there, as far as I'm aware. As I say, there's some missing screws that should be holding these RCA ports in. There's some snip wires there by the looks of things. So I'll have to find out what those were for. There is a complete missing relay. And other than that, it just looks to be dusty. It doesn't look like there's a lot else missing. There is this absolute butchered cable here. I don't know where those two wires, if you can see. Let me grab that. This cable just got some aftermarket little 3.5mm socket on the end of the long cable with some insulation tape, and it's all done very, very well. But that runs, and it ran to here. I mean, that is just shocking, isn't it? Lovely. Not sure where those original cables went, but I will find out. Quick look at the back of the unit. Let's say these RCA jacks here should be obviously mounted here with screws, but the screws are missing. The jumper jacks are there, that's good. Those can often be missing, and that's not broken. That's good, because those are often broken. Speaker terminals all look good, and these are so much better than the speaker terminals on the 828. If you know, you know. Well, in general, and there's no feet. Let's have a quick look underneath. Some more tape, but no feet. No feet to speak of. So it's safe to say there's a lot to do with this. Well, yeah, you might have a lot to do with that receiver, but I need to fly all the way back from Norway and land in Cornwall to find Louise at Retro Deck Vibes. She's come and follow me for my Instagram channel, and I'm super appreciative, so guys, go give her a follow. Cheers, back to me. Let me know in the comments what you think would be better, to have a whole series on this receiver and have 20-30 minute episodes on how I recap, 20-30 minute episodes on how I go about the faceplate, likewise how I refurbish the cabinet, or would it be better to have one longer video, hour and a half, the whole thing start to finish as one big project in one long video? I think that's where my head's at, but let me know if you think it would be better as a series. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm really excited with this. Just thought I'd do a video of the unboxing and just share this. Look out for that coming on the channel. If you want to see that sort of content of full refurbishments, please hit the like button and subscribe button, because I think this unit's going to feature on the channel a little bit. And once fully refurbished, a direct comparison against my 828 side by side, see how they compare. So just a quick video of the unboxing of my new but very used Pioneer SX838 stereo receiver. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.